TV trash? Well, last time we saw that there is indeed an animated show out there based on a video game that actually didn't suck. But how about an animated show that's essentially a parody of video games? Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet recently hit theaters and seems to be getting good reviews for the most part. The original film remains one of Disney's lesser-known animated movies and more cult classics, perhaps because it does seem to follow more of the Pixar format in combining the secret life of your pastimes with the story of a flawed hero needing to go on a quest to find out he's more than what he always thought he was. You know the drill. To be honest, I always thought the story engine of Wreck-It Ralph was best suited to be followed up by a TV series instead of another animated movie, and I was kind of surprised Disney didn't go that route. But then again, maybe the mouse-eared regime was gun-shy because such a concept was tried before and didn't do so well.
Did you ever wonder what happens after the game ends?
Created by future Nickelodeon animation president David Sachs, Game Over was an animated series about the lives of video game characters outside the job of their actual games that premiered on UPN in 2004. Yep, we're doing another UPN show, so you just know this one was guaranteed to get a high score. Let's find out why it didn't. So the show focuses on the family of Rick Smash and Burn, who is basically the driver in every car racing game you've ever played.
And they're off. Will Smash and Burn gain control and win the race? Nope, not today.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's just nice to be out of the house.
And yes, he's voiced by Patrick Warburton, because who else is gonna play a role like this?
Sam?
I wanted to talk to you about this side hedge. City code says 6 feet. It's making us a lot more vulnerable to sneak attacks. That's kind of freaking out Dark Princess.
Hey, Dark Princess.
By day, he crashes cars in turn 2, likely killing several spectators in the process, before going home to his wife, Lara Croft. Yeah, her name is Rachel here to avoid infringement, but come on, she's freaking Lara Croft! The first episode is setting up how the wife has gone back to her work as a Tomb Raider, treasure hunter, and now Rick has to balance out his own job with helping out the kids.
Rip, you don't mind taking the kids to the mall yourself, do you? That was my boss. We've got to lead on the Emerald Monkey.
Their daughter Alice is this really PC girl who mostly has to be around DOA volleyball players while at school and is of course resentful of that. While the son, yeah, he's kind of in a transitional phase.
What are you uppity, Daddy?
Why does our son sound like that?
I either want to be a doom soldier or one of those guys in the medieval district who eat squab all day.
Anyway, the plot is really kinda generic. It involves everyone being at each other's throats trying to get used to this new change in lifestyle with the mom working again, and this all leads to them deciding the solution is to get a pet. That leads them to discovering this thing, which I think was supposed to look like that creature Red 13 from Final Fantasy VII.
I'm Turbo.
Turbo? Ha! You're pushing 300 pounds.
I've got a thyroid condition, sir.
Anyway, they end up buying him, and sure enough, he turns out to be something that would make John Arbuckle be thankful he only has to deal with someone like Garfield.
Turbo has outgrown city life.
Little help! Little help!
All right.
Oh, yay, Turbo!
Worst picnic ever.
And you wanna know the really crazy thing? The remaining episodes after this actually kinda get better. The second one involves Alice having to take this world's version of the SATs, only she panics and fails the test on purpose. So Mom has to invade the highly guarded test score depository to steal them so she can take the test over again. It's pretty over the top, but there's actually a good message hidden under there about standardized testing having too much influence on determining someone's future. Oh, and there's also this whole side story about the son trying to date Rainbow Bright if she was an anime girl. And 15 years later, someone at Nickelodeon saw that character and morphed her into this. Also, this is where the dog thing actually gets kinda enjoyable. Oh, he's still a crude, profanity-spewing asswipe and delinquent, but somehow it comes off as entertaining, like the very few episodes of South Park where Cartman's jerkassery works. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but there was something funny about breaking into parking meters with a sledgehammer and using the coins to tip strippers. Of course, we also get the standard episode of Rick's manhood being called into question since the wife is now the chief breadwinner of the family, which I also think was trying to fit in a message about participation trophies. And another is about the mom trying to find a way to balance both her work and being involved in the kids' lives. A bit challenging when your work involves trying to get an artifact back from a rival secret organization. Wait, when did Lara Croft work for a bunch of black hats? Despite some early skepticism, the show actually got some positive feedback from publications like the New York Times after its initial couple of episodes. So naturally, UPN completely screwed it over by changing its day and time slot seemingly every week. That's about as annoying as some guy changing the start time of his live stream every week. As a result, only 5 of the 6 episodes produced actually made it onto the air, with the last 2 getting held off until April. Naturally, any interest in the show by then had died quicker than a Contra player not using the Konami code, and the show was tossed aside. Pretty much never seen again. Damn it, UPN! Even when you get something with potential, you just had to find ways to frack it up! And that's the sad thing, because this show really did have potential. Yeah, there were a few hiccups to start with, but with the characters and setting that it had, it looked like they were building something that could have had a type of following if the network had given it any type of support whatsoever. There was some crass and rude toilet humor at the start, but it seemed like they were trying to phase out of that in later episodes and focused on actual character development. With that and the almost endless supply of video game types to draw ideas from, there would have been an almost limitless number of story ideas to pick from. But sadly, those behind the creation were just never given the chance to do so. We can only hope that someone might get this type of idea again, and this time be given an actual chance to make it work better. And yeah, so far for this holiday season on TV Trash, we haven't had a lot of stuff that was especially bad. We're gonna have to change that. Oh yeah, people, this one has been a long time coming. Next time, Merry Christmas!